Assalamu alaikum. In this tutorial, we will discuss the Flutter basics for absolutely beginner, especially designed for absolutely beginners. We will set our course as three part: the part one, part two, part three. Now you are in the part one. In this, we will discuss the essential Flutter widget. Someone maybe if you are absolutely beginner in Flutter, you don't know what is a widget. Nothing. Widget is just a building block of Flutter. I'll explain in the tutorial. There's a lot of widget in Flutter. Still, they are coming new widget. But in this tutorial, we will only discuss the necessary widget, around 9 or 10 widget that must we understand before starting our project. And the remaining widget we will study when it's necessary. There is a lot of widget, so that we will study at the time of when we want. But before you start, you must study this around 9 or 10 widget. So we will discuss it in the tutorial. If you study properly that around 9 or 10 widget, then the other widget is you can quickly understand, because most of the all widget is same. Okay, and after you watch, you need to watch the second part. The second part, we will discuss the some basics for programming, like try catch and ternary operation and null safety, and how to handle named parameter like that. That will need for the Flutter development, specially designed for Flutter development. So we will discuss around 10 or 11 thing that we must understand to start with Flutter. So that also one important tutorial. Then after that, you can watch our Flutter state management. This is the first step to you to your project level or production level knowledge, because Flutter state management, we can done the application without state management, but we are mainly focusing on the production level application. Our channel is mainly designed for production level application study, so you must understand what is state management, and other thing what is the advantages and like that. After this three, you can start the watching of our big tutorial, like project tutorial in our channel. In this video, we will discuss the very basics of Flutter, how we can create the application, and what are the important widget that you must understand before start the Flutter project. And also we will discuss the some important, and then that must be understand before start the project, some programming course like method, function, and parameter passing. Before you start any project, at least you understand these things. We will not cover all unwanted basics, because programming is the vast area. So before you start the project or Flutter project, at least you must understand what we are discussing here, and the remaining widget and the remaining programming course we can study at the time of that we needed. Okay, let's start. For this, I am just creating the new Flutter project. Okay, and here I give the name as Flutter project. And you can see there is a Android language and iOS language. These are if we develop an application with the Flutter, Flutter will provide, we can write the native code. That means if we Android application, we can write the Java or Kotlin. That means if some features we cannot write in Dart, or we have already code in Java, then we can just copy paste the code in the Java file, and we can call it in our Flutter app. Also in the iOS, we can use the same, we can write the native iOS language. These are the native iOS language, Objective C and Swift. We can select anything if you want, but just keep it as Kotlin and Swift. And here you can see these are the platform. If the one application, we can run this all Android, iOS, Linux, Mac, Web, Windows. Okay, if you only target application iOS and Android, just only click the iOS and Android. you can untick other, it will save our memory. Now, I just click create. Okay, now my application is created successfully. When we create the application, it will auto generate the code like this. First, I will just remove this old code. You can see I remove all code, and here I just create one stateless widget for understanding easily. When you create the new Flutter project, first just remove all unwanted code and just keep this my app only, and in the below the my app just type STL. It will create one stateless widget. We will discuss all it later, but for now I just create one stateless widget with the home page. Okay, now I just paste it my home page here. Okay, now our code is clean. Now we can just run our application, and after that we will discuss what is stateless widget, what is stateful widget, and all necessary. First I just make it for understanding clearly. Now I am going to run my application. Okay, now our application is run successfully. It's showing one placeholder because we are put the in our home page as placeholder. Okay, we can start the discussion. Before that, I will just explain the folder structure. You can see here there are some folder. We need to put it in the project folder. Okay, if you put it in the project folder, you can see there are mainly 3 folder, one Android and another one build, iOS and lib. In this Android is the folder that we can write the native Android code, and we can write the configuration of Android like Android manifest. If you are need permission of Android device, we need to write it inside the manifest. That the native and core features of the Android we will write in the Android folder, and similarly iOS folder is for iPhone, and the lib, this one is our main folder. In this folder only we work 99%, and this Android and iOS folder is we are not using too much. It's on the time of publishing in the Play Store or other native feature we want to add, that time only we will work in the Android folder. And also one build folder, you can build the application for iOS and Android, and it will come in the build folder. This is the basic folder structure of the Flutter app. Okay, now we can start the widgets. Okay, first let us discuss about the widget. In Flutter we have 2 type of widget. First one is stateless widget that we already created. To make the stateless widget, you need to just write STL, then it will give one prompt. Just click enter, and here you can give the name. What is your widget name? Okay, this is stateless widget. And another one is stateful widget. For that you need to just write STF, and also you need to give the name my stateful widget. Okay, now you can see in the inside the stateless widget we have only one method, it's called build, and but inside the stateful widget we can see there is some more extra code. Now I will explain what is the difference between this stateful widget and stateless widget. Now I just explain the what is the difference, and after that I will explain how it's working. And okay, you can see this is a simple application. There is one text and one button. Okay, this is the code. We will discuss what is scaffold, what is sender, what is column later, but here I am only going to show what is the difference between stateless widget and stateful widget. So, do not worry about the other word, you just think there is a text. Inside the text we will pass the my text. You can see my text is declared as hello. So, inside this text widget we will pass the my text, that is why it is showing hello. Okay. Now, there is one button, this is that button, elevated button. Inside the elevated button there is one method on pressed. Inside this two bracket what we will write, it will work when the button is clicked. You can see inside the on press I write my text, that means this value will change to high, that means on first time it is hello, when the button is pressed the value should change to high. Okay. Now, I am going to press the button, you can see there is nothing is changed, that means even I change the value to the variable, it is not reflected in the UI, that means this UI is always fixed, we cannot change it. This is stateless widget. Okay. Now, I am going to convert this stateless widget to stateful widget. For that we there is one shortcut. If you are in Android Studio, you just put the cursor on the top of stateless widget. Then there is one bulb icon will come, just click, you can see converted to stateful widget. Okay. Now, I converted this to stateful widget, and here you know we have this hello, that means this variable, we need to move this variable from here to here. Under the state we will tell what is state. Okay. Now, we will move the text from the inside the build method to here. Okay. Now, you can see the same code, the initial value is hello, and when the button is pressed we will change to high. Okay, let us run the application. Okay, initial value is hello, when I press it should change, but you can see still it is not changed. That is only because when we want to change the value to the variable or UI, you need to call one method set state. Just to call this set state, then I will again run the application. You can see now it is changed. That means this set state is only available inside the stateful widget. If you just type set state, it is nothing come in the stateful widget. I will just show. You can see this is our old stateless widget. I just write the set state method inside the elevated button, that we already done in the stateful widget, but you can see I got one error, this method is not available. That means this set state is only available inside the stateful widget. Okay. Now, I will explain what is the working when button is clicking. When the button is click, first it will change the my text value to high. Okay. Even it is changed, it is not showing in the UI, because in the Flutter it is working like when we need to change any change inside the UI, that widget will rebuild. That means, it will destroy and it will again build with new value. So, when we call this set state method, it will remove the old text widget. The old text widget is hello. Now, when we click, first it will destroy the old widget with hello, and it will again rebuild with new value high. That will happen when the button is clicked. Now, you will think we need always stateful widget, because in application we need to change the value every time. So, you will think we will always use stateful widget, but the actual thing is not like this. Like that, we can change the value even it is in stateless widget with state management. There is one concept, state management, we will study it later. Now, just understand, for naturally in Flutter we need to call set state method to change the value. Okay, now we will discuss about the widget. Widget mean it is the basic block of the Flutter. That means if you see any Flutter app, there is any component, that is button, text, drop down button, anything that we can see with our eye, that is called widget. In Flutter there is lot of type widget, but we will only discuss the necessary widget that we must understand before start any Flutter tutorial. The other widget when we need, that means if you want one drop down button, you just search in the Google or ChatGPT, then that time just study about that widget. Don't go first complete widget, then we cannot start the learning, because widget is still the new widget is coming. So before you start any Flutter application, at least you understand some basics widget and important widget. So we will discuss the important widget here. Okay, the first one is scaffold. Scaffold means it is the basic work area of our application. Okay, if we do any screen, if we make a home screen or a cart page, it is all containing inside the scaffold. Okay, that means this is the main paper. Okay, by default scaffold is white color, that's why it's showing the white color. Okay, now we can pass the parameter to the our widget to change its behavior. For that you just put our cursor about the widget, then you can see lot of variable and its type. Now I'll just show. You can see the body. Body means the inside we need anything, that is called a body. You can see inside the left side its type is widget. Okay, that means if you write body, we need to pass the widget. For a simple example I will just show. You can see the background color, so I just calling the background color. Okay, now you just put the cursor above the background color. You can see the type of background color is color, so we cannot pass widget or any boolean or string. We need to pass the type color. Okay, now I'm just passing the color, colors dot blue. You can see the color is blue. This is the basics of widget. There is lot of widget you can make, and you can pass the variable or parameter to the widget to change its behavior. Okay, now we will pass the body. You can see the body is receive type widget, so we need to pass widget, lot of widget. Now first we can pass one widget called text. Okay, for the text we need to pass any string. I just hello world. Okay, you can see the hello world is coming in the top side. In the by default, when you write anything inside the scaffold, it will come in the start at the left side. Okay, that's why we will use another widget called SafeArea. Okay, so I just remove this text and I am write to the SafeArea. You can see it's showing error. Just put the cursor above and it will show required argument is child. That means we need, it is required, we cannot do without its passing, so we need to add this child. I just click the child, means the widget showing inside anything, that's called child. Okay, now I just pass the child as text. We'll discuss it later. Okay, now you can see the hello world is come under the notch. That means we will use the SafeArea inside the scaffold to make sure the all user can see. If we not use the scaffold SafeArea, it will maybe in the top or in most of the mobile phone, it's a different type design. Maybe the notch is high, maybe here one camera hole. So if you use the SafeArea, the Flutter will automatically find the what is the area that user can see without any issue. Then our widget will come from here. Okay, now the child means most of the widget has child. Child means you can see the safe area. This is safe area. So inside the safe area we will pass the child. Child means inside the safe area what we need to show, that is called child. Okay, now we pass the text hello world, then it is showing the hello world. Okay, the next widget is container. I will just remove this text and I make type container. Okay, now I just refresh the application. You cannot see nothing. That means container mean it's a space, an empty space. If you are use the HTML, you know the div, it's like that. By default the container space height and width should be 0. So you just put the cursor above the container. You can see the parameter we can pass: color, decoration, width, height. Okay, now I just pass the width and height. Okay, still you cannot see the container. That is because by default container the color is white. Okay, now I just pass one color. If you doubt about what is we need to pass to the color, you just put the cursor above, then you can see the type is color. Okay, you can see one red container is here. Okay, now we can use the container for a show like this, or mainly we will use the container with the child. I already told the child mean inside the child what we write, it will show inside the widget. Okay, now I pass the child. Now I put the cursor above the child, then it's showing the type is widget. Okay, now widget mean anything, most of the 99% of item is widget. So now I just pass the widget text, because we already studied about the text widget. Text widget is just to show the text. Okay, you can see our text is come in the container. Now you just put the cursor above the container. You can see lot of parameter. Now we are going to discuss more about the container. Now I just put the cursor. You can see there is other parameter also available. Now I am just going to use the padding. Okay, I'm going to choose padding. Then if you are already working with HTML, you know what is padding. It is the space between the inside the spacing. Now we just type 10, it will show error because the type of the padding is we need to pass edge instance geometry. Okay, now the type of the padding we need to pass edge instance dot, you can see the type all means it will give all side symmetric. Symmetric mean we can pass the horizontally or vertically like that. Only means we can write left side, right side, top, different direction. Now I am using all, just use 10. You can see it's come the spacing in the all side, up, down and left side, right side. Okay, if I just write instead of dot only and just put the cursor above, and it will show left, top, right, bottom. So that means we can pass this left, top, right, bottom like. Okay, now I just type top and I give the value 10. Okay, now you can see it only the top side is only the spacing. Like this there is a lot of customizable for all widget. You can study one by one with any widget. we cannot cover all the styling and all the parameter of the widget, because for widget there is lot of customizable and parameter we can pass. So this is the basic thing. We need to just put the cursor above and it will show the type, then we can pass the type. Okay, now our next widget is called column. Column means if I want to put one more container below this container, what will do? We are doing it inside the safe area. You can see inside the safe area, the child I given as container. So the first container is come. Okay, now I want to one more container below. What will do? Now I just paste here. It will give error because it's not allow pass multiple widget. So in that case we will use column. Okay, now inside the safe area I just remove this container and I write column. Okay, now you can just put the cursor above the column. You can see what are the parameter we can pass. The main one is children. Children means you can see the type of the children is list of widget. That means we can pass the list. That means not only the one widget, we can pass number of widget in a list. Now I just put the cursor above the safe area. You can see the child is only widget. That means we can pass only one widget. But when I put the cursor above the column, you can see it's the child is changed to children because we can pass number of child, and also the type is list of widget. That means we can pass 1 or 2, 3 or widget inside the list. Okay, now I just type children, then it already come one list, and inside this I can pass 1 or 2 or 3, how many widget we can pass. Now I just make one container and put color red and give height 100, width also 100. Okay, you can see the first container is come. Now if I want to one more container below, I just copy and I just change the color to green. You can see the next one is come, but it's come one under the one. That means the column is align the widget one by one in vertical direction. Okay, this is the column, and for the column we need to understand some important parameter. Just put the cursor. You can see main axis alignment and cross axis alignment. Okay, and just type main axis alignment and just put the cursor above, and it will show the type is main axis alignment. Okay, main axis alignment dot, it will give the suggestion start center, and now I just put the center, then you will understand what is main axis alignment. Okay, you can see the our children is come at the center. Now I just type start. What will happen? It will come in the start direction. That means as per the column, the main axis is vertical because column is align the children one by one vertically. So the main axis is vertically. Now you will automatically understand what is the cross axis alignment. Cross axis alignment, just put the cursor above and it's showing the type is cross axis alignment. Cross axis alignment dot. Now I just put center. It means it should come in the center. The cross axis is horizontally, but you can see it is not come. That means by default column will take only the space that the children needed. Now our children, the width is 100, so the column only take the width only the 100. The remaining space is not column, it is empty. Okay, so if you want to make the column full, we need to put this column inside one container, and the container width should be full. I will just show. For that you can do like this, just cut this column. Okay, now I just cut the column and I write container, and the child of the container I pass this column. Now you can see what I do inside the safe area. Without directly pass the column, we just pass one container, and the container child we pass column. And for this container I make the width full. To make the width full of the screen, we can type the width like this, double dot max 580. It will take the full width of our screen. Now you can see, now the column is taking the full width, and we will tell the cross axis alignment. That means the children should align at the center. Now I just change to center to end. Definitely it come in the end. There is a lot of other you can check with your PC, stretch, baseline. You can change the value and you can check. So this is the basics of column. Now you can see I just for doing this wrap this container, wrap this column with the container. What I do, I just first I just cut this column and I write the container, and again I pass the column. But we can do it with one shortcut. I will just make the code as before. Okay, now I just type undo, and I just return to my code before. Now we directly pass the safe area child as column. Now I need to wrap this column with the container to make the column width is full. So for that, if you are using Windows, you just put Alt plus enter, or if you are using Mac, you can use Option plus enter. Just put the cursor above the widget, and I just put the Alt plus enter. It will give one pop-up like this. Then you can see wrap with the widget. Just click that, and here you can type the widget name container. So this is the way to do it. Otherwise you need to just cut the widget, and we need to write the main widget, and we can again pass. But this is the shortcut. Just click Alt plus enter, and it will give the wrap with the widget. Then you can write the widget name. Okay, now I just make the width as full, double dot max 580. Okay, now this is column. Now we can start the next widget. Just cut this column, and I write row. Okay, you may understand what is row. It is opposite of list. List is put the item one by one inside the row. It will one by one, but it is in horizontal direction. We can check. Now I just put one container. But before, we cannot pass the container like this. We need to pass first children. Inside the children, we can only pass one by one. So I just type children, and it will give me one list. Then now I am going to pass one container, width 100, height 100, and color. Okay, you can see the first item is come. Now I just copy paste this, and we need to put comma to separate the widget, and now I just change the color to red. Now you can assume it will come where it should come in the horizontally next direction. So this is row. Now similarly for the column, we have two axis method. One is main axis method, but inside the row the main axis is horizontally, because row is aligned the widget one by one horizontally. So the main axis is in horizontally. Now we can pass the type main axis alignment dot. Now I just pass the center. You can see it should come in the center. Similarly, now I am passing the cross axis alignment dot center. Now you can see it should not take the not coming in the center. That is same as before. Row a column only take the maximum width of the widget, and similarly the row will take the maximum height of the widget. So in this case the row has only the widget the height until this, that means our container height is 100. So this area is not row, this is empty space, that means the safe area or remaining space. Our row only this area. So we need to do, instead of the container width we need to pass the height max finite. Okay, you can see now our row will take full length and our cross axis alignment is center, so our item is come at the center. Okay, now we can study about the next widget, that is called Expandable. It's also one important widget. For that now I just make one UI. You can see the safe area. So our widget is come under the safe area, and inside there is column, and inside the column the children. First one is one green container with the width 400, that means full take the width, and the next one is one red container with height 100 and width is same 400. Okay, now I'm going to just wrap this widget with the expandable. To wrap, what you need to do, you need to just click Alt plus enter, and you can see wrap with the widget, and I give the name expanded. Okay, now you can see what happened, it will expanded. That means when we wrap with any widget with expanded, it will take the maximum available space of the screen. Okay, now even I change the height to 100 or 50 or 0, you can see now I pass the height is 0, still it is not affect. That means if you wrap with any widget with expanded inside the column, it will not affect its height, it will take the maximum height that available. In our case the maximum height is, you can see the our red container will take the 100 height, and the remaining full height it will take by the green container, because we wrap with expanded widget. Okay, if it is in row, what will happen, it will take the available width. It's depend on the direction of the widget that we align. Now inside the column it will take the maximum height, if it was inside the row it will take the maximum width. Okay, now I'm going to do the wrap the second container also with expanded. Okay, now you can see both are taking the half and half, because both will try to take the maximum, then they will take half and half. Okay, this is the basics of expanded widget. Now we can discuss about the flexible widget, that one also one important widget. Okay, now you can see our UI is like this, one column, and the first container is height is 300, and the second container red container height is 400. Okay, now I am going to wrap the first container with flexible. Now I wrap the first container with flexible widget. Okay, now I refresh, you can see nothing is changed. Then what is the purpose of this flexible widget, I will show. Now I am going to increase the height of the second widget. Instead of the 400, I am just going to write is 700. Now you can see the first widget is reduce its height. Okay, that means if you wrap any widget with flexible, it will allow to flexible with its height. That means it will try to, the other widget will take more height, then it will try to reduce. It's like a rubber band or something. It can, if you wrap any widget with a flexible, it's like a flexible. That means if other widget need more space, it will allow, it will flexible type. That is the flexible widget. Now if I just remove the flexible, you can see I got the error bottom overflow. That means it's now it is not allowed to flexible because it's normal widget. So when we wrap with flexible, it will allow to flexible. Okay, this is the flexible widget. Okay, now let us discuss about some simple widget. One is sender. It will one important widget. Now you can see in our scaffold we will use the SafeArea. That's why our widget is come under the SafeArea, and we will use the container. It's 200 width and height. Color is green. Now if you want to put any widget at the center, you just wrap the widget with the sender widget. Just click Alt Enter, wrap with the widget and type sender. You can see now it is come on the center. So if you want any widget at the center of any parent widget, because now our parent widget is SafeArea. So now I wrap with the container with the center, it will come at the parent of the widget. Now I will just show. Now I type the inside the container, I just write child as text. Now I pass text as hello. Now you can see it is come at the top. Now if you want to it is center, what you should do? We need to just wrap it with the center. Wrap with widget and type center. Okay, now you can see it's come at the center. So this is center widget. Okay, now our next important widget is text field. Okay, you can see what is text field. Text field is the field that we can type the letter. You know, it is a most important widget because inside the any form, if anything we need to collect like a register page, login page, we need to use text field. Basically it is come like this. Now we can just put our cursor on the text field. You can see the parameter we can pass. Now I will just tell some important parameter. Okay, now we can pass the parameter. The first parameter is decoration. We can decorate our text field. So the type is input decoration. And in the input decoration, first we can put one border. For that we can write border, and the type is outline input border. And we can pass the first one border side. Just to put the cursor above and it will show the suggestion. You can see what we can pass: border side, border radius, gap padding. Okay, like this. So the border side will pass the border side, and we will pass one width as 1. Now you can see with the width 1 border is come. Now the next we can pass the border radius. Border radius will pass, just click about the cursor, it will give the suggestion. We cannot by heart all things, so we just put the cursor and it will give the type border radius. You can see border radius dot all. Then just copy this, just paste it here, that's all. Now we can change the border radius to 10. Now you can see its border radius is now 10. Now I just make it 20. Okay, now you can see it's more circular. Now inside the input decoration, we can there is lot of decoration available. You can see icon, label text, helper text, hint text. You can look some important. One is hint text. You can check the type is string, so we can just pass one string, enter name. Okay, you can see now the help text is come, and another one is helper text. Helper text, you can check the type, it's also a string. Your name. You can see now helper text is come. Then there is a lot of other you can see the hint text, hint decoration, error widget. That means if error is happened, it will show the error. You can see the prefix is a widget, will just show the prefix. You can see prefix. What we need to pass, it is widget, so we can pass one icon widget. Normally a prefix should be icon, icons dot font. Now you can see the prefix is come here. This is prefix, it should come in the start of our widget. It is like that. If you have any doubt, you can use the ChatGPT. Now our next important widget is button. We know button is one important widget because we need button in most of our application. Inside the Flutter there are different type of button. Elevated button, that is the normal button, and text button, that's come like a text, and icon button, like that. Most of the all working is same. I'll just show the elevated button. Just remove this text and just type elevated button, and now you can see it will ask the required parameter. One is on pressed and another one is child. Now we can check the child, it is required widget, so we can pass one widget, text widget. Okay, now you can see my button is here. Now the on press is the method. When we press this button, what we will write here, it will work. Now I'm just going to print. You can use the print to print the text inside the console, and here in our console it will print. Now you can see when I click, it will come the text. Just change to clicked. Okay, you can see it's come. That means what we write inside the on press, it will work. Like if we have to register user, we will write the code for register user, and if we want to go to next page, we will write the code for go the next page is here. So this is the elevated button, and we have a lot of other button like text button and icon button, that all same. Instead of this elevated button, now I'll just show the text button. Okay, just click above the cursor on press, and another one required child, and can check the child. Child is also widget. Now I will pass the text. Click me. Okay, can see now it's one text, but it can click. It's a clickable text, so this is called the text button. Similarly, we have one icon button, that also same working. Okay, this is a button. We have customize our button. You can just click the cursor, and you can see we can pass the style and other. Okay, now our next widget is image. Image also one important widget. Okay, now I just remove this text and I just type image. Then we have two type of image. Just click dot. You can see asset and network and file, but normally we will use the asset and network. I'll just call the asset. Now here you need to pass the where is our photo. Asset means we will put the photos inside our code, then we can call the image path. Now here you can see inside our project, not in the lib folder, in the main root, we will create one folder called asset. Inside the asset, we will create one folder image. Inside the image, I put some images. Okay. Now I'm just going to copy this image path. Just right click, and you can see the copy path. Then it will we need to pass the root path. Now I just paste it here. Now this is the path asset. This is asset folder. Inside the asset folder, we have image folder. Then we will call the image name. Okay. Before you need to use this asset folder like this, inside your PubSpec YAML, here you can see there's one asset section. In the asset section, you need to write the folders. We are using the asset folder inside the image. So I just write asset / image, then put one slash. Then we can put the image inside this folder and we can use all other image inside this folder. If you have other folder like inside the asset, you have one other folder, new folder. I'll give a name as photos. Okay. Now you want to paste some photo. Now I just copy one photo from this folder to, now I just put it inside the photos. Okay. Now if you want to use this background photo, just copy the root path, then you can use in your application. But before, here you also need to write asset / what is the folder name, photos, then give the slash. Then you can use the all photos inside this photos, otherwise you will get error. Okay. Now I just write like this. Now I just refresh application. You can see the user JPJ is come. Now the next important one is instead, normally in our application we will use the network because our application will take the photos from internet. So here we can pass the image URL. Now I just go into the internet and I just type test image. Okay, now you can just use this one and right click and copy the image address and return to my application. I just pass the, oh sorry, that is not correct image. You can go with another. Okay, you can see the image is come. So we have image from network and image from asset. Now our next important widget is gesture detector. Now you can see inside the scaffold, inside our SafeArea, I put one container with height and width 100 and color is red. Now I want to, when user is click this container, I need to show one text or something. So you just put the cursor is here. You can see there is no any on pressed. We already study about the button. Button has one on pressed. But for this container, you can see there is no on pressed. You can pass the color, decoration, width, height, but there is no on press. So most of the widget has no on press. That means when a user click the widget, we cannot detect the user is clicked that. So for that we will use one widget called gesture detector. Now we need to just wrap this widget with gesture detector. Gesture detector. Okay. Now you can just put the cursor. You can see lot of detection is available. On tap, on long tap, on double tap, like that. Now you just pass on tap, and we need to pass the function like this. And inside this curly bracket we can write our logic. Now I just going to print clicked. Okay. Now when I click this container, you can see the clicked is printing. Okay. Now I am going to on long press. Okay, now I'm just going to long press. You can see on long press is working when I long press it. So we can wrap any widget that has no on tap or on long tap. We can wrap it with the gesture detector. Then you will pass the event. Okay, now we have two more important widget. One is list view and another one is list view dot builder. First we can check the list view. List view. Inside the list view, it is a list. That means we can put the item one by one. If you remember the column and list view is almost the same. So we can pass the children, and now I pass one text, and now I can pass this text 2 or 3 times. Okay, can see my text is one by one. That means the column and the list view is almost the same. Only the difference, list view, inside the column height is like 10 height. We give the height is 10. Then our item is more than 10. It will overflow. I will just show. Now I'm just wrap. For list view there is no color, so I'm just wrap it with the container. Now I just give one color. Now give the height 300. Okay, now my container height is 300, and now my text is around 3. Now I'm going to copy paste this more items. Okay, now you can see still my list is not overflow. That is the advantages of list view. When our items is more than the height, it will scrollable. But if you are using the column, now I just show the change this list view to column. You can see now I got the it cannot be scroll. That means it will be fixed. But in list view we can scroll. Also the list view will take the full length, but the column will take the widget of the width of the widget. That is the difference between column and list view. Now our next one is list view dot builder. First I will write the code for list view dot builder, and I will explain what is the use and what are the features. Because list view dot builder is not like other widget, it is a little bit complex. Now I just remove this text and I just paste the code for list view dot builder. Okay, you can see we will write the code for list view dot builder like this. List view dot builder, and inside the list view dot builder we have first parameter is item builder, and we need to pass context and index, and inside this curly bracket we will return, and after what we will give, that will be the items in the list. I'll just run. You can see now I just write the hello, and it is hello in the list. Now if we change it to one button, now I just change to elevated button. I pass the text. We already studied about the elevated button. Okay, you can see now all is elevated button. That means what we write in after the return, it will be the items of the list. Now we can change it to the normal text. Okay, you can see it will list. But what is the difference between list view and list view dot builder? Inside the list view, we cannot more control about the each items. When we will discuss more about the list view dot builder, you will understand. Now we didn't pass the item count. There is one parameter like item builder can pass item count. Now I just pass 10. You can see now only the item is 10. That is the item count. Now we can get more detail about the list view dot builder, I already told we have more control about the each item if we use the list view dot builder. Now we can check how it's working and what is this index. For this I just change this text to one elevator button. We already discussed about the elevator button, and child I pass as text button. Okay, now you can see 10 button is there. Now when user is click this fourth button, I need to print here which button is click. So I am going to just print, and I'll just take this index. Now you will understand what is this index. Now you can see, now I just click the first button, it will print 0. If I put in the second button, it will print the 1. That means in programming the count is start from 0. So we can just plus 1. Okay, now you can see if I click the first button, it will show the 1. If I click the 10th button, it will print the 10th. That means this item builder and index is only available if you use the list view dot builder. So that's why we will mostly use this list view dot builder in our application, mostly because when user click any item, we need to understand which item is user clicked. So that's why we always use the list view dot builder. Okay, here now already study around 8 or 9 widget that mostly used and most important widget. Still there is hundreds of widget is still we need to study, but that widget we can study when we working with any project, or if you watching any tutorial, that time definitely you will study more widget. That time you can just search about the widget in ChatGPT or Google or YouTube. Then that time you can study about the widget. Don't go with the complete widget and start the project. You just understand at least this widget perfectly, then you can start the coding of any small project. Okay, see you in the next video.